Hello everyone, my name is Leah and today I'm excited to discuss the American College of Radiology, ACR, accreditation survey process, specifically for magnetic resonance imaging, MRI. Performing an accreditation survey is not always an easy task, but with documentation and preparation, it can be a rewarding experience that ensures the safety and health of all of those involved. MRI is an invaluable diagnostic tool that allows us to visualize internal structures of the human body in exquisite detail and is deemed the gold standard for soft tissue delineation. Roughly 40 million MRIs are performed every year in the US, and that number continues to grow each year. As an MRI technologist of almost 10 years and a certified MR safety officer, I have considerable experience in both theoretical and practical scenarios having to do with MRI. I have screened and trained students, new technologists, nurses, respiratory therapists, and many more on the importance of magnet safety. The magnet is always on is a commonly stressed phrase, and for good reason. Most diagnostic imaging magnets are superconducting, which means we use superconductive wire, approximately 200 kilometers worth, in the magnet housing, along with extremely cold liquid helium to keep that wire from having resistance. This allows us to maintain the magnetic field all the time. The strong magnetic field forces our body's hydrogen protons to align with it. Then we rapidly pulse a radio frequency current to excite the protons. They release energy or signal, which is captured by our coils. The amount of time it takes for the protons to realign with the magnetic field, as well as the amount of energy released, changes depending on the tissue type. All of this is measured to give us the beautiful, contrasted images you see on your screen. The ACR is a regulatory body that ensures imaging facilities meet the highest standards in quality, safety, and patient care. The ACR has almost 40,000 accredited facilities in 9 different imaging modalities. Obtaining an ACR accreditation is a voluntary process, but it holds immense importance for imaging facilities. It signifies a commitment to maintaining the highest standards of patient care, safety, and technical proficiency. It also demonstrates a desire for continuous improvement, something we in the imaging world are always striving for. Accreditation boosts confidence among referring physicians, patients, and payers alike, establishing a facility's reputation as a center of excellence. Let's dive into the ACR accreditation process and understand its significance in ensuring quality and safety in MRI facilities. The process has multiple steps, but they are well worth the effort. The following steps will be discussed in further detail: contacting the ACR, reviewing proper documentation, scheduling a site survey, touring of the facility, technical performance evaluation, image quality assessments, interviews with staff and patients, verification of compliance with best practices, and results of the survey with further action items if needed. The process begins with the facility expressing an interest in seeking ACR accreditation for MRI. The facility will contact the ACR to initiate the survey process. Generally, a phone call is required to complete this task. However, you may also email vss@acr.org to request a site validation. Time to renew email is also sent to the facility 8 months prior to certificate expiration date if a facility is renewing rather than surveying for the first time. The ACR will then provide the facility with a list of required documents for submission. These documents typically include policies, protocols, quality control records, and staff qualifications. The specific items required for each category can be found on the ACR's website under MRI and breast MRI accreditation support. Documentation for the supervising physician, staff technologists, and medical physicists should all be present, along with all relevant quality assurance reports. The facility will schedule the accreditation survey with the ACR. The surveyor's visit will be coordinated to ensure availability of the appropriate personnel during the survey. On the day of the survey, the ACR accredited surveyor will conduct an extensive tour of the facility. They inspect various areas such as the MRI suite, control room, the waiting area, and storage facilities. This tour aims to assess compliance with safety regulations, equipment standards, and overall cleanliness. During the survey, the surveyor evaluates the MRI's system's technical performance using the ACR MRI Phantoms. The Phantom simulates various clinical scenarios, enabling the surveyor to assess image quality, spatial resolution, geometric accuracy, and signal uniformity. The surveyor reviews a sample of MRI images obtained from the facility. They assess image quality, proper patient positioning, and adherence to established protocols. This ensures consistent and reliable diagnostic images are produced. The 5 specific categories for scoring examinations are pulse sequence and image contrast, anatomic coverage and imaging planes, spatial and temporal resolution, artifacts, and exam identification. Luckily, the ACR doesn't make us guess what they need. They spell it out for us plainly on their website with module-specific parameters and a step-by-step toolkit to follow. Here is an excellent example that I pulled straight from the ACR website under the head and neck module. As you can see here, it clearly states the required sequence and the standards it must follow to be successfully passed by surveyors. The surveyor will then conduct interviews with staff members involved in the day-to-day MRI operations. Topics covered may include safety protocols, patient care, radiation safety, and emergency procedures. This step ensures that the staff is knowledgeable and competent, contributing to patient safety and care. The surveyor may interact with patients as well to understand their experience during the MRI procedure. Patient feedback provides valuable insights into the facility's performance, patient comfort, and overall satisfaction. The surveyor verifies compliance with ACR's technical standards, safety guidelines, and best practices. This includes reviewing documentation of quality control measures, incident reports, and any corrective actions taken. Following the survey, the ACR accredited surveyor compiles their findings and discusses them with the facility. If any deficiencies are identified, the facility receives recommendations for improvement to maintain a high standard of quality and safety. After the survey, the facility receives an official report from the ACR. This report details the findings, accreditation status, and any necessary follow-up actions. If accredited, the facility can proudly display the ACR seal and certificate. Now that we've discussed key steps in ACR accreditation surveys, I will walk through a survey that I've created. Although my site has several scanners and is ACR accredited in both general MRI and breast MRI, we will stick with accreditation for a single 3T GE general MRI scanner. For reference, here is the accreditation process again in flowchart form from the ACR website. As you can see, it goes through all the different aspects from application to review to finally approval. I followed these steps in my own survey. The first thing I do is create or log in to an ACR account. This account will house all of my information and is where I ultimately will submit my documentation. The next step is to gather all the documentation I need for my site's application. Items required include 1. facility information, like the name and address and CMS information. 2, modality information, like the supervising physician, the lead technologist, and unit details. And 3, personnel and payment information, listing the physicians, physicists, and technologists, as well as payment requirements. Here are some examples of my documents with the name of my facility and the facility information. Once I've submitted the proper documents and payment to the ACR, they will add a testing package to my online account. This is how I will be able to keep up with tracking of my evaluation. The top image is taken directly from my image evaluation packet. I need to be sure all images comply with ACR regulations, as well as ensure I have not anonymized images nor used data compression DICOM. I will take the appropriate studies and copy them to a disk, then upload that disk to the account testing package for review. Technical testing by a medical physicist is also a large part of accreditation. Here you can see the QC or quality control items we focus on in MRI. Magnetic field homogeneity, slice position accuracy, slice thickness accuracy, radio frequency coil checks, monitors or displays, and evaluation of the QC program. We also have daily quality control programs, in which table positioning, setup and scanning, center frequency, transmitter gain, geometric accuracy, high contrast resolution, low contrast resolution, artifact analysis, hard copy image, and visual checklist are all part. The ACR website provides extremely specific details in their toolkit for parameter testing, from head and neck, like I showed you earlier, to MSK testing. After all that testing by technologists, radiologists, and physicists, we turn everything in and wait patiently, or not so patiently, for our results. There are, of course, frequently missed items that may result in a failure or a deferment of accreditation. In the case of both clinical images and phantom images, the most common error is not following directions properly. With a lot of preparation and careful planning, we've achieved accreditation. It is valid for 3 years, in which the ACR may pop in for unannounced visits that ensure safety and communication standards are being upheld. Now let's go over a few questions and conclude. Question number 1. What happens if my site did not achieve accreditation status? Well, the facility must submit a form within 15 days with their intent to either repeat, appeal, or withdraw their application. Question number 2. What is the purpose of daily QC? Although daily QC sounds like a lot, it is actually one of the easiest and most accurate ways to determine quality and safety for your patients. If there are issues with a certain parameter that need to be evaluated over time, daily quality control is paramount to that evaluation. In conclusion, the ACR accreditation process for MRI ensures that MRI facilities meet the highest standards of quality and safety. By voluntarily seeking accreditation, we demonstrate our commitment to excellence in patient care and continuous improvement. Let's strive for ACR accreditation and continue providing the best possible MRI services to our patients. Thanks for your time.